staff, management, or sponsors.
If you're into rainbows and butterflies and enjoy sugar-coated parenting advice, if you use social media with the hashtag blessed under your significant other on a daily basis, if your child speaks 4 languages before their first birthday and is on the cusp of curing world hunger, this is not the show for you. But if you're a real parent, living in the real world, working, hustling, and just managing to get through every day, you've come to the right place. Join Michelle Dempsey and Rachel Sobel, the realest moms on the block, every Tuesday night as we dive deep into the topics and conversations that everyone else avoids. We're the Keep It Real moms, honest, hilarious, and only slightly censored. You can leave it there. It looks pretty.
And we are live.
Yes.
We are coming to you from My Delicious Deli on Palmetto Park Road in Boca. How in the world did we get here?
It's a change of scenery.
It is a huge change of pace.
But
from
I feel a little bit in our element. 2 Jewish gals in a deli,
Jewish
you know.
deli.
It works, it works.
We got a box of rainbow cookies here.
Have to have the rainbow
courtesy of
cookies.
The deli.
Yes.
How did we find ourselves here tonight?
Freddie told us to be here, and this is where we are.
Thank God for Freddie, our producer.
Thank God.
I got the call at the last minute to show up here. Otherwise, we would have been in the station by ourselves.
Alone.
Twiddling
There would have
thumbs.
been no show.
No
so
show.
thank God.
No
Anyway,
cookies.
so we now we're thrown off. We didn't even do our
No
intro.
diet Dr. Brown.
We didn't even
I'm
do
your
our
host,
intro.
Michelle Dempsey, with my wonderful co-host, Rachel Sobel.
And we are here tonight live again from My Delicious Deli, and we are talking about a very, very appropriate topic for being in a deli. We're talking about schnurrs.
But it's appropriate for being in a Jewish deli.
Right.
It's a Yiddish word.
Right.
You know, part of our youth was hearing our grandparents use these words.
It's such a lost language.
It is a lost art.
Guess what? We're bringing it back.
We're bringing it
tonight. Tonight.
But I wanted to say something. You know, I'd like to say that there isn't much that annoys me and you and I.
Right.
But that's not true. Like, it's not hard to annoy someone who's busy.
Right.
Or who has a lot going on and really just has to worry about their children before anything else and the business and da-da-da.
Yes, agreed.
So how can we define this word simply for the people who don't know?
So the simple definition, because as we know, all Yiddish words don't have direct translations all the time, but this one's pretty easy. A schnurr is basically a mooch, a freeloader, someone who's riding your coattails, trying to capitalize on your success by not pitching in, not doing anything to help, just asking for
number
handouts.
one. I have an example.
We asked for rainbow cookies.
Right. So I was totally mooching. However, I'm recording my show in a deli.
Right.
Hook a sister up.
It's decoration.
Right. No, but for me, it's like when you get that random text, it's like, hey, girl, how you been? By the way, do you think you could help me out? I'm trying to think of an idea for blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, you didn't want to say hi.
But here's the thing. And so when you go off on your own in business, as we both did on our own, respective fields and whatever we have
Paths,
going
on our respective paths.
in our respective paths,
that brought us together with rainbow cookies at the deli.
You do have people that will do those thinly veiled, hey, can you help me out with something? Or I have a marketing question, or I have a blogging question. And I think that sometimes it's totally fine, and both of us are receptive to it, and we're open, and we're always willing to help other women, especially our friends.
Right.
But sometimes people cross the line, and they take advantage, and they don't realize that this is our livelihood. We're getting paid by people to really do these things for them. And we have children we're taking care of, and we have husbands, and we have boyfriends, and we have lives, and we have all kinds of things going on.
You have a husband and a boyfriend?
I do. No, I don't. I'm just
Jason
kidding.
Sobel. I told you should call me.
But, there's a lot going on in our lives, and for people to assume that they then skip to the front of the line when we have a lot of stuff going on is a little bit unfair to us, and I think it makes us uncomfortable because we love our friends and we love the people close to us,
Right.
and so it's hard to say no. So we rely on people in our circles to be respectful of that, but sometimes they're not, right?
So, yes, and for me, I am very much like a helper. Like, if somebody, I like for somebody to feel like Michelle solved their problem.
Right.
So, it took a really long time for me to be able to create the boundaries where people felt like, that's your business, I can't bother you. Now, I have friends who are probably listening that are like, oh my God.
Is she talking about me?
No. And you want to know how
Right.
you know the difference? If you ask me a question, I don't want to help you, I'll say, let's get an appointment on the books,
Right.
and we can meet at my office.
Right, and because there are little things that
And
are
if I don't
easy.
send you my price sheet right off the bat, you know that I'm happy to help you, no problem.
Right. And I think that there's always that willingness when it's little stuff here and there. It's when, you're taking away from our day-to-day when we do need to be working with paying clients and people helping, and you're diverting our focus. That's when it gets a little bit dicey, and it's hard to fulfill those requests, and you want to help your friends, but you're put in a tough position because you don't want to be mean and say no, but you kind of have to sometimes.
At a certain point, when I was building my business and I didn't have a lot of clients and I wanted to get my name out there, it was different. At that point, I was happy to do what I can so that somebody would drop my name. But this morning, I was asked to do a really involved workshop, speaking engagement type of thing for no money in exchange for...
For what? What was the...
Do you really want to know?
Yeah, I want to know what you were going to get.
I'll write you a great review on LinkedIn. I was like, girl, please. I got more reviews than I know what to do with. Thanks, but no thanks. You know why? Because that's a day of my time. That's travel time. That's time away from my child. That's prep time. Materials. A speaking engagement, I'm usually spending $50-$60 on materials. So you know what? You can keep your review. Thanks.
Can we take a little break? I like the lighting in here much better.
Way better. I could see my contour in the camera, and it's giving me like all the feels.
Do you like sitting next to me or across from me?
No,
You're not enjoying it. You like staring
unless
into
I'm
my
on
green
a date
eyes.
and we're like gonna touch and
Canoodle.
eat off of each other's plate.
Right.
I want to sit across from you.
Okay. All right. Fine.
Now, if you wanted to start eating these,
I really do, but I don't want to do it on the air because then I'll have like marzipan in my teeth, and it will not be a good look for anybody.
but that's part of the nostalgia.
The shtick.
The shtick.
Let's use as many Yiddish words as we can tonight. Okay.
This is a mishigas.
It is a mishigas. Okay, so when you're dealing with schnurs, what do you how do you get the message across that, it's time to end that?
It's very hard. Look, if you're helping somebody out, they're most likely a friend. And if they're most likely a friend, it's not easy to say, hey, you're taking advantage, F you, pay me, type of thing.
Right.
So it's very uncomfortable, and I think that's where you find that business and friendship don't always mix unless there are very fine lines drawn in the sand, in the beginning, clear as day, that, really highlight the fact that I appreciate your business or your money, and you appreciate mine and my time, and we're not going to cross that boundary.
And what's funny is I've had the opposite end of the spectrum thing happen, where I've had people who are friends say, hey, I want to talk to you about XYZ. I will totally pay you for your time. In those situations, I don't take it because it's a 10-minute conversation and I'm not going to send you a bill for that. Do you know what I mean? If we engage and we start working together, then I'm obviously going to bill you, but I appreciate the fact that someone respects my time enough to say, I will totally pay you for your time. It's like the whole first date thing. You're going to offer to take your wallet out. You're going to offer. You're going to offer.
I'm not.
You're going to offer. And most men, a mensch, another Yiddish word, I'm doing well so far. You gotta
Ladies, find yourselves a mensch.
Are gonna say, no, don't be silly. It's the same type of thing. You want someone to at least show that they respect your livelihood, right?
Right. So yes, and I think another issue for me is I tend to have clients that work with me on a retainer basis for an extended period of time. But when it's somebody who I'm doing a one-off project with, which I no longer really like to do for this reason, it's like consistently, like on a monthly basis, I'm going to get an email from that person like, hey, what do you think of this? And do you like this? And how would you word this? And it's like, dude, our project ended. So this happened to me recently with a former client who I did work for a year and a half at this point. And she keeps coming out of the woodwork, and I love her, and she's kind, and I know that she's really struggling. And so she freaked out last week. She was calling, texting, emailing. She needed help with a certain thing to be written. And I'm like looking at my inbox, like everything's like piling in with clients who actually pay. And I'm like, is she serious? And then this weekend I had a little free time and I sat down on my computer and I checked my email again. And she said, by the way, here's my credit card info. I don't want to take advantage. What she needed ended up taking me 15 minutes, maybe 20.
Right.
I didn't charge her.
Right. But that was the right thing to do.
Right.
It was the right thing to do. And I think that as long as there's that respect, then there won't be hurt feelings and there won't be uncomfortable situations. And, when I'm dealing with my friends who ask me to help them out with stuff, I am always willing to help because, like you said, it takes 10, 15 minutes. It's not a big deal. It's when it becomes a habitual thing over and over and over again. And maybe if you're using someone in your life that way, you should say, you know what, I need them a lot. Like, I'm using their services a lot. Maybe we can talk about something. And there can be arrangements that involve money changing hands, involve bartering, involve all kinds of,
which is totally acceptable too.
Right.
If you have a friend who's providing a service that you need and she needs yours or he needs yours, and you can barter and still find the value in each other, I think that's beautiful.
Absolutely.
And
Totally
I know
agree.
I had that arrangement going on for a while, and it made me feel really grateful.
Yeah.
And it did more for me than just give me my friend's services. I think it really helped us. She helped me grow as a businesswoman, and I was appreciative of that. But it's different when it's just a one-sided thing. But look, the truth of the matter is, when you're in business for yourself and you're just starting out, it's very uncomfortable to have conversations about money. And I get it. I think in the beginning, or anytime somebody would ask what I charge, now I started right off the bat. I worked with a coach who said, your work's published everywhere, you're charging top dollar. I was like, okay, but I was not yet comfortable demanding top dollar for my work. And it wasn't until I realized how much people needed my services that I was like, you know what, this is what it is. So getting comfortable with the whole money conversation is something. And my last point, I went to dinner Saturday night with a friend who is all about abundance and money's coming and can't wait to make that money. And I'm like, I made a comment like, money kind of makes me uncomfortable in the sense that like I'm not out there obsessed with it. And he was like, you need to shut down that thought right now. Money can't make you uncomfortable. You have to say, I love it. It's going to come to you. It's going to come to you. But it's natural when you're out there advocating for yourself. It's just,
I think it's uncomfortable in a lot of respects. It's uncomfortable when you first discuss it in relationships. It's uncomfortable when you talk about it in a business perspective. It's uncomfortable when you go in for that first job and you're negotiating a salary. We're all so scared to ask for what we're worth.
But it's like a drug. When you are comfortable enough to demand what you're worth or to ask for what you're worth or say yes or say no, like you're going to want to do it again and again, and it feels great. And the more you're respected, the more it's going to come.
Well, and I think it's also when you do it with confidence where you are commanding a certain price range or price list based on your services because you know what you're going to deliver. It's a very different thing from throwing numbers out there hoping they stick and hoping someone goes, yeah, I'll pay that. I mean, like if you have someone say to you, you're too expensive for me, then they're not the client for you.
100%. And I used to get discouraged when I heard that in the beginning, but then, for every client that said, or potential client that couldn't afford me, there were a few that could.
Right.
And so you don't want to get stuck working with the person who has to really stretch their budget to pay for you because they're going to find problems with everything you do. And that's not the client you
and
want.
they're gonna go through every piece of work that you send and nitpick every
Is there a
single
Yiddish
thing
word
and
for
make
nitpick?
it. I don't know. I'm sure there is.
Freddie just gave me some sort of symbol.
I think he was throwing a gang sign.
Is that a gang
I don't
sign,
know.
or is that
I
like
think it means
a deli radio
It means I love
sign?
you in some language. I don't know what it means. Right? Isn't it I love you?
No, that.
Oh, what? Oh, this is like hang 10 or
Hang
something.
10?
So I guess we're supposed to hang 10.
I also want to show you guys. This is kind of their specialty.
It's gorgeous.
I feel like I'm on the Food Network.
I know.
I wouldn't necessarily. I think it's beautiful, but I don't know if I'm the rainbow bagel type of girl.
Oh, I would eat it. I would
You
totally.
would?
Yes. Throw a little schmear on there.
It's like chemicals.
No, I think it's gorgeous.
I think
it's food
this
coloring.
is beautiful.
And this doesn't have color?
We are going to commercial, my friends. We'll be
Okay.
talking about cookies and momming and working when we come back. Thanks for listening. I'm Michelle Dempsey,
I'm Rachel Sobel.
and we're at My Delicious Deli in Boca. Thank you for listening to Babes in Business. I am your number one babe in business, your host, Michelle Dempsey of Very Well Written, the business I founded to help other entrepreneurs get their businesses off the ground with great content, strategy, branding, social media, editing, and anything in the way of words. I've got you covered, www.michelledempsey.com, or you can call me at 305-469-7500. Don't forget to tune in every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock to join me and a fellow babe in business talk all things business. Can't wait to see you there.
Hi, this is Rachel Sobel.
And this is Michelle Dempsey. And you're listening to the Keep It Real Moms.
Oh God, the comments are amazing. Oh, we're back and my mic is really loud. Is this thing on? You can hear me. Okay, great. So here we are. We're back at the deli, and I'm happy we're talking about this topic because it bothers me. Like, it's the type of thing that will keep me up at night.
Has it ever ruined a friendship?
Yes, money has ruined a friendship for me. Oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. But yeah, really uncomfortably, really suddenly, and at a certain point when I realized I'm not dealing with this anymore. But it was me working for somebody else. How about you?
I've had it happen, but it's interesting. I've had it happen kind of the opposite with people. I form connections with the people that I work with, people that I get my nails done with. Like they
You-
all become my
you
friends.
literally go live
They
from the
really
nail
do. They
salon.
become my friends. So when I work with someone, it's very hard to draw that line where they are just a client and they're not a friend. And sometimes that hurts me because if there's something that goes awry, then it gets very, very uncomfortable. I did have it happen one time with a client who became a friend, and we had a little bit of a situation, and it definitely harmed our relationship and left me feeling, wondering, like, what did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? And kind of examining the whole thing. But I'm never not going to form those relationships. That's who I am, and that's what I think kind
Right. I'm
of
the
brings,
same way.
you know,
It's hard.
a unique flavor to the work that I do for them, is because I get to know them on a level where when I'm writing for somebody, I'm getting their voice out there more than just
So,
faking it. So
For the women that are listening that, you know, are starting their own businesses or in businesses for themselves, have a lot going on and really need to work on creating boundaries and learning to say no and not letting everybody pick and pull and determine what your next move is going to be, how would you suggest setting boundaries?
well, you have to do it from the beginning, because I think when you set that precedent, and we
That's
talked about
key.
this on an early show, we talked about, you know, certain times of not answering your phone or answering emails or things like that, because when you are off on your own, in your own business, it's very hard to check out and it's very hard to turn off. So you're on your phone, you're answering emails. But if people see emails come through from you at 3 o'clock in the morning, midnight, whatever it
You're
is, then
setting
they
a
know you're
precedent,
accessible and
yeah.
you're setting a precedent. So you kind of have to set the boundaries for yourself first, so that people don't, because people are going to take cues from them, right?
Right.
We struggle with it. We're not perfect at it. We still make those mistakes. We're on the weekends. We're still working. We're checking in. We're doing things that we probably tell people to limit a little bit.
But
I
here's
think
where I'm going to really shoot myself in the foot. I think for me, the reason why I do work on the weekend, well, there's a couple reasons. I have a child. I never know at any given moment. Like today, she was sick. She had to stay home this morning. That backed me up. So
Yep.
if I can stay ahead, I'm staying ahead, even if it's weekends or 3 o'clock in the morning. Now,
Right.
maybe I'm not answering emails, but I'm also very passionate about what I do. And if a client asks me a question that I feel inclined to answer,
but I agree with you, and I am very upfront with my clients who I work with. I say, listen, I have an 8-year-old and I have a newborn, so I am always going to deliver.
she just had a baby, you guys. I'm going to say it every show. Every show.
I'm always going to deliver what I promise to deliver, but you have to be patient with me with my timeline, and I do the same thing. There are times where I do not work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but then I'm working Saturday and Sunday and making up for it. So,
I would have a panic attack.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I'm good with it.
I feel like I don't like to not, I don't know. If I'm not engaged in something on a daily basis related to my business, I go nuts.
Yes, but keep in mind that me not being engaged is not because I'm sitting on the couch watching Ellen and like eating a tie-dye bagel. It's because I have a child who
Which
is
actually sounds like a great plan.
literally in my arms, and I'm typing a press release with one hand because I can't put her down. So, you know, there's a balance to it, and it's I think that the boundaries that you set with your friendships and your working relationships and all that stuff you have to set those boundaries and stick to them. They're not going to just happen if you don't respect them for yourself.
Wake up tomorrow and say, today's the day I'm setting boundaries. It doesn't really work like that. I think it takes practice, and I think it takes a level of comfort with yourself and
I
knowing
agree.
that, you know what, there is a chance I piss this person off,
Yeah.
but will I still function? Will I still survive? Absolutely.
But the beauty about working for yourself is you're not going to piss anyone off above you, right? It's your own business. So if you tell a client no because you strongly believe this is a hard no, they're either going to go with it or they're not, but they're paying you for your opinion. And the same thing when you're doing the same thing with friends, whether it's for free or not. If someone's asking you for your opinion based on your area of expertise, you have to be able to be honest and open with that communication, right? And not just tell them what they want to hear.
Yeah, I'm not telling anyone what they want to hear at this point in the game. Yeah.
I can't. Do you know what they used to call me at when I worked at a PR agency in Boston?
I love nothing more than your PR job stories.
Oh,
Like,
do
I
you
feel
know
like
what my
there's
nickname
so many
was?
good ones.
There are really good ones. My nickname was the Velvet Hammer.
Oh.
Because you know, in PR you say yes a lot. You're yesing clients all the time. You kind of get paid to yes clients.
How though, when you can't guarantee
Because
publicity?
it's not even just about publicity. It's about timing on things, and
I'm
it's
yawning
about,
at the deli.
It's just about everything. But you say yes a lot, even when you don't want to. I am very uncomfortable with that because it's my name, it's my reputation, and so I said no a lot. But I said it in a way where they didn't even know that they were being told no. They were kind of like, oh, that's a great idea. So they earned me the nickname the Velvet Hammer because I hit them hard with the very soft explanation.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to call you that from now on.
Okay.
It's kind
Stuck
of a
for
sexy
a while.
name.
It
like,
is a
little
sexy
bit. It's like a
name.
porn
It
name.
is a sexy name.
Are we allowed to say that on the air? I don't know.
I don't know.
Probably not. Sorry,
Probably
but
not.
this is, I'm all thrown off by our Anyway, this place is really cool, though.
It is.
Some cool artwork. It's very clean.
It is. I didn't even know this was here, so now I'm happy it's here because I can get a new place to get some matzo ball soup. What other Yiddish words can we throw in? Because I feel like we had a whole
Ungapach. It's not ungapach. Very simple.
Oh, that's one of my favorite words.
One of my favorite words.
Because there's nothing that says it. You have to now explain what it means.
Ungapach is Donna Can's favorite word. I don't know if she's watching, but I once said it and she fell off her chair because she had never heard it.
She plots.
She plots. She had never heard the word. Ungapach is like, like gaudy, like
too much. Too much.
Too much. So I don't know why. Oh yeah, this place is not that. No, this is a great place.
We need to make a pact right now as we're throwing out all these Yiddish words that we are going to pass these on to our children because it really is like a.
Well, Bella gets them. My daughter is 2, and she gets them from her grandpa. Papa will say, "Oh, did you hurt your kepi?"
Yeah.
Like things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That I naturally just say now, and I'm like, "Oh my god."
We say at night we're going to
When
go
my
schlufs.
grandma-
We're going schlufs. I say every night to Ava, we're going schlufs, which is sleep.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Now you learned a new word.
I know the word. I just didn't know it was Yiddish.
Oh yeah. Schlufs.
See, you're an American Jew. My family's from South America, so there wasn't that deep of a connection with the Yiddish. But I had a set of grandparents who were very into it and still are. So I'm down with it.
I love being reminded of your South American heritage.
Do you?
I do.
Why?
Because I forget every once in a while, and then you throw it out there, and I feel like you're a little spicier. I forget how spicy you are.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Speaking of spicy, I had the most amazing lunch. I went to Miami Squeeze in Aventura.
Okay.
Or I guess it's North
Are you allowed
Miami.
to talk about another restaurant in a restaurant?
Nobody. I didn't sign a contract, my friends. So anyway, the point is, I had this shot. It was like a jalapeno cayenne pepper ginger shot.
Oh.
That woke me up for the afternoon.
Yeah.
That was good.
I got Jason Sobel into the ones at Raw Juice, the ginger shots.
I take those
And-
when I'm not feeling well.
Oh, they're so good.
I walk right in, check right in, get my free shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I know. I'm with you.
Speaking of schnorrs, we'll do anything for a deal, by the way.
We will. But let's talk about that for a second, because I think there's schnorr that can be used for good and schnorr that can be used for evil. Checking in to get a free shot, because that's what the company wants you to do, you're not a schnorr. You're following their...
How do you say schnorr?
I think there's...
Schnorr.
So here, it's the same thing as Hanukkah being spelled 10 different ways.
Okay.
There's schnorr, schnorr, schnorr. There's like a few
I've actually
different
never
ways
heard
to
the
say
word
it.
until you introduced it to me last
Really?
week. I have to be honest. By the way, we weren't on the air last week. Sorry.
We weren't, but we were on the week before.
We were. No, but I hadn't heard the word. But I'm glad we talk about it because it is an issue that so many people face. And when I have new client consultations, one of the things, when I ask them, what are you dealing with? What challenges are you facing? It's always money, favors. People want to barter. I got offered recently, and I'm gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I can't lie. I said yes, but I was offered a case of wine to write an article. And I
I think that's a fair trade.
But it was kind of like, yeah, because
Yeah, but hold on. That happens all the time. Like as a blogger, I get baby products
Swag.
and things where they
Yeah.
because they want you to use it. They don't want you just to write a blind thing. So I think that's not being a schnorr.
I loved it. Thank you.
I think it's
Thank
good.
you, Vivanco Wines. Vivanco Reserva. You could send more whenever you want. It was excellent.
No, I think it's good, and I think that it's good we're having this conversation also because there are probably people out there, friends of ours who are watching this who either didn't realize they could ask for our help and that we're willing to give it.
It's not that I don't want to help. I just don't want to devote a day to you if you're not paying.
Right. Just be conscious. That's all. We are always willing to help, but just be conscious that we do have, this is our livelihood. And so if you're going to ask for things, just be patient with us and be respectful of timelines. And, if you see that you're consistently asking over and over again, maybe consider,
Take me out for lunch.
totally. Right. Right.
Lunch.
Right.
Houston's.
Right. Houston's spin
It doesn't
dip.
even have to be. Yeah, it does have to be Houston's. Yeah, at that point it could be Houston's. Show your gratitude. People, you get more bees with honey. My mom likes to say.
Yes.
So if you're shut down for something that you've asked for, there's a reason why. It's not because somebody doesn't want to help you. It's because we've all got a lot of things going on.
I agree. And you know what? Another Yiddish word, actually, that can be translated with schnorr. Don't roll your eyes at me.
I did.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Is chaza,
Chazarai.
which is pig.
Chazarai. What is it?
Chaza means pig. Like
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. I can.
Thank you. I know.
Oh. Jeez, this is not my first native tongue.
Tell me something in your native tongue.
Oh, honey.
Come on, let's hear it. Put it out there.
My native tongue is English.
No, you are. Come on.
I can't.
She can't. She can't do it. She can't do it.
I can't go. No, all right. So we have coming up, we have a few things coming up.
Yes.
Your phone's ringing. You need to take that?
Nope.
Oh, you definitely don't need to take that.
Nope.
No, she doesn't. We have next week.
He's giving us the hang 10 sign
hang
again.
10. What does that even mean, Freddie?
2 minutes.
Is this like a new?
So why don't you go like this?
It's a bowl.
Oh. Okay.
Is that because we're in a deli? The 27th, just so you know, I am not on the air, but we'll talk about that off the air.
Surprise to Rachel.
We're going to be having a special guest.
Okay.
I actually met with somebody today who I'm going to be bringing on and surprising you with.
Oh, I don't get to know?
No, I'm not going to tell you.
I told you before we had our guest.
A little bit. A little bit. By the way, did our toys come yet?
Soon.
Soon. They're coming.
She got a lot of orders, though.
Thank you, Flirty Girl, for
Yeah.
our toys. We
Yeah.
have 1 minute left. We just want to thank My Delicious Deli for putting us on tonight.
And for the rainbow
I want to
cookies.
thank Rachel for bringing up this topic because I think, again, it's uncomfortable. It needs to be brought out. I know a lot of us deal with this every day, or at least every
day.
week.
Yeah.
And if you ever need help saying no, setting boundaries, or finding a plan that works for you in
Call
terms
one
of
of
how
us.
much to charge, call me. Because no is a complete sentence, Dawn said. I like that.
We're off.
I feel like maybe you've posted that once. Dawn posts
We're wrapping
amazing
up.
things. We're done. I'm Michelle Dempsey.
Getting yelled at.
This is Rachel Sobel. We're going to eat our rainbow cookies now. Thank you.
Bye.
And just like that, tonight's episode has come to an end, and not because we want it to. Trust me, if you haven't noticed, we would go on and on about anything. But if we're going to keep it really real, we're tired. We've been momming, working, hustling, and catering to our littlest people all at the same time, all day long. It's time for a glass of wine, some trashy TV, and leggings. Until next week, we are the Keep It Real Moms.